I'll move on to quickly to the topic once and what we're trying to do. The question is very simple from my perspective. There are two parts to the question. One is AI machine learning, is it a fact or a fad? Is it true or too much of a hype? Second is, what kind of a career options do we actually find in AI? How do we start? What programs do we take? If I'm a fresher, what's my scope? If I'm someone with 15, 20 years in the industry, what do I look for? Sure, please.
Yeah, this is really one interesting question, whether data science or AI is the hype or true or, the true or false. As far as, I am concerned, it's not a hype, it's true. But as of now, it has less visibility. Because, I was there in this industry for 15 years, and I am almost witnessed all the changes so far happened in the analytical industry. The analysis industry earlier seen as more of structured data analysis and statistical modeling. If you look at the analysis industry in analytical industry in 2003 to 2006 area, more of customized research and less data, numerical data. The so-called statistical experts will use these techniques or use the softwares and get some insight of it. But lately, what happened? We have seen a lot of changes happen in the industry. The 4, 5, 6, especially the last 3 years, seen as more of data exploration era. There are 3 reasons why we are in this situation today. The 3 reasons is due to the social media, sensors, and the cost of the memory devices getting cheaper and cheaper. So because of these 3 reasons, the amount of data growth is becoming huge and huge, and the format of the data also what we are generating is also become completely different. We are able to store both structured and unstructured data. So unstructured data, you mean like the data in text or image, audio. So all these changes is completely changed the analytic industry. That's why suddenly this AI and data science comes into the picture, and the ecosystem has changed and everything has changed. As per some of the statistics, the 90% of the data is captured by the last 2 years only. Out of 100% data, the 90% of volume is captured by the last two years. That is the amount of data where we are heading. So the technology is always there, but why we are able to build these kind of systems nowadays?
Hello. We just did an introduction. We'll come back to you with. Thank you.
So because of these growth in the data, these are the changes happened. Dynamic changes in the industry. Even the data analysis industry is also changed. Now this industry is changed.
So 90% of the data that we're currently using, you're saying, has been more collected
over the last 2 years. That's the industry standards.
So getting better and better data collection.
Imagine how much it's going to be. The data collection is going to be more and more. 90% of the data is collected for the last 2 years only.
And we've still not made it very relevant yet. We have to.
Yeah, that's what all the companies are facing now. That's what I'm coming to.
Sure.
So that's why the industry, the analytics industry is also changed a little bit, because in order to handle the data, the big data comes into the picture, and because we have data, the changes in the computing power, all those made the era of the artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is basically we are creating a system, intelligent system, which can behave like a human. It will basically mimic the human behavior. So the systems are able to behaving humans because of the data. So we are having a lot of the data. So because of the data, we are able to build the products which can almost behave like humans. So with the data, the systems also behave, react, learn. All this is happening. So that's what I'm saying. This is not a hype. As of now, this has less visibility, but in future, it's definitely it is going to be true. We already faced this kind of situation in earlier also. In 1991, internet is also in the similar kind of situation. Most people also felt that internet is also not going to happen. Now we see how internet is also happening. I'm sure in future the AI ML is going to be better. And behind all this, the ultimate power is the data. In future, we will see a lot of the product which will run not by oil, not by electricity. They all run by the data.
Okay.
And we'll see a lot of products, a lot of personalized products. Is all going to be run by the artificial intelligence techniques, which will apply the ML algorithms with the data. So that's what my opinion.
Yes, thank you. I will go back to introducing Dr. Siddharth Ghosh. You are part of the computer science department in VJIT, and you also the TPO head, training and placement officer.
Training and placement. Even as a part of academics, I teach the programming languages and also AI and machine learning. So basically, I
Perfect.
at the bachelor's level, the master degree level, I teach AI, artificial intelligence.
That's brilliant. So I think we've got some great experts, Vijay, and then we have Sankalp online, and Prema has been there in data sciences for a long time, and Dr. Mehta. So it's a good platform. What we kind of trying to talk about concept of AI machine learning, which is coming up so much. Is it a fact or fab from an industry perspective? Is it too much of hype, or is there really big scope from is there really a big demand? Second is how, if we are interested, how do we learn or build a career in AI? What are the steps? What do we look forward at the end of the training tunnel? So that's something we kind of touching base upon. So Dr. Venugopal was talking about, of course, it is a very important integral part. Like internet has been there. Maybe that's no statement, I don't know, but data will run things is something which is becoming more and more clear for us. It's becoming that critical. You want to add something?
Yeah. What I would say is behind every kind of product that we have, there is data. So let's kind of take some domain perspectives and try to understand this data science concept. It's ever been in existence, and will ever go with the times changing.
Yeah.
So let's take an example of, let's say, the healthcare industry, right? So today, technology is actually advanced so well that a doctor sitting in a remote location using his mobile device can actually check the heartbeat rate of a patient in the hospital.
Right.
And actually suggest. That's because there is a data product built. And using that data product, he's actually able to diagnose the kind of stability of the heartbeat. And whereas, such things, so on and so forth, okay? Now let's take on, I'm sure because we're talking about career building, career paths, let's talk of this course called, have you heard of Coursera? It's an online app where you can go and study a lot of stuff, right? So even Coursera by itself, why is it doing so well in the market today when it comes to e-learning? Because when a student goes online and wants to be a participant to a course, to a subject, and suppose the video has got about 15 minutes, let's say, and I skip from 0.5 minute and I go on to 7 minutes, or I drop.
You didn't watch the 2 minutes, let's say.
Yeah, you didn't watch the 2 minutes. So the jump points are by Coursera.
Sure.
The drop points where I drop the video and end my session is also noted by Coursera. How do they actually note these points? And they kind of take a feedback why we didn't really participate towards the end. Were we lost somewhere? So that they go back and improvise the content, or it didn't interest me, so they will go and make it of more interest, so that we don't really do the jump points, and they can make their course more competitive to the market. So that is also got
They're using the
algorithm.
analytics
Exactly.
to kind of model a new courses.
So all of this has something called, if you take Netherlands, for example, right? Netherlands, the agriculture economy is a very dominant sector for them. So when you take the milk products, the dairy products, right? So cows in Netherlands are known to be very, very healthy. Yeah.
Yep.
Just, I don't know the breed, what are they called, but yeah. So they have an equipment actually tied to the head of the cow. So they try to see the health of the cow. Is it sick? Why is it not actually feeding well? And they try to give it appropriate medicine at the right time. So obviously there is a data product. And who builds these data products? It is a data scientist,
Yes.
right? So it's ever been there, and it ever broaden its horizons, right? So there's an algorithm that goes into building these data products, right? So which is the crux. Also, in comparison to the traditional methods, which were BI, when we did the dashboards, it was just trying to tell us known unknowns, right? I could only know from the past, I could just, something that I knew, but it could be an unknown. Whereas if you take data science, it will give you something which is unknown. That's the difference between the traditional BI and the data science. You're getting something which is unknown. Like let's take, for example, again, healthcare. Now, previously, sugar levels were diagnosed saying that your height, your weight play a very proximate link to telling if somebody could get, sugar in the future, right? But today, we can develop a new component taking height and weight. I combine both the components. I give one accurate component called body mass index. And I say body mass index is a more accurate prediction of somebody's sugar levels in comparison, taking, of course, the heredity parameters into picture. Right? So what I'm trying to do is here, I'm also freezing my components. When I have data in two columns, I'm combining two columns and making one precise column, right? So as data scientists, we get to know an unknown factor, which is your body mass index. Taking height and weight, which will give you a more accurate
indicator
of your sugar levels. So it is on the rise. And coming to the opportunities in the market, I think market to be tapped at the moment. There's a lot of skill shortage versus the demand for the role. So I think it's just a great way to start. And how do you start? Obviously, you've got to go through a course, whether it's e-learn and do a lot of practice.
Or it could be master program.
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Career I want to add.
Sure, please.
So coming to the career, I want to add one thing. If you see some of the reports given by the NASCOM, next world needs around 2.7 million data scientists over the next 3 years. And the industry is also going, very positively as far as data science and AI is concerned. Is the positive side of it, but the negative side of it is because of this artificial intelligence, where we are creating intelligent system, the system which can behave like humans, is taking a lot of conventional jobs. There are some articles which are saying that in future around 90% of legal people will lose the job. And the jobs which requires like operational skills will be automated. Out of these three jobs, like strategic decision, tactical decision, and operational decisions, most of the jobs which are related to the operational decisions will be taken out by systems. So hence there is a disruption due to the AI and ML, and because so it's a kind of positive and negative news. If you are able to make the career, if you are able to ready with AI and ML, this is going to be the good news. If you are not able to catch the technology, this is going to be the bad news. So
yeah,
that's the reality.
Sure. And Sankalp, I would like to hear from you as well, because you've been.
I think
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think the other panelists made some really good points. So I would just like to touch upon a few things. So, I mean, yes, I mean, is AI a fad or is it like the first speaker has mentioned? So AI, all these algorithms are not something which we have discovered something in the last 1-2 years or something. If you look at when the first neural network or anything has been developed, it has been developed in like 1960s and it's been prevalent since a long time. So even when I was graduating in 2010, like there were all these things, all these algorithms existed, but why the sudden shift in AI and machine learning, why the importance is coming up now? I think the reason is twofold. Right? So if you look to 2008, that is the era of the mobile phones. So everyone moved from like the old Nokia device to a smartphone.
Right.
So what these smartphones did is basically collect the data and like because of the number of apps and stuff, it started collecting data like Facebook and social media, right? Like now people like they know the preferences of people. Started getting they started collecting this data, and then if you look at 2008 to 2015ish time, it was the era of the cloud. cloud and things like Hadoop and systems help organize this data into segregated and in a way where this data can be accessed at a very quick pace. And also the evolution of Micron and all these companies where DRAM started increasing more. This data is now organized, easily accessible to people. And also the computing power has been increased to an extent where you can make sense of this data.
Yes.
So the next 5 years is going to be like we have so much data collected, we have the data in the form where it is easily accessible. So what do we do with this data? Like Prema has mentioned, there are a lot of, I would stress on the fact like there's so many applications for AI and machine learning, self-driving cars to healthcare to real estate, and everything, right? So if you go and look at what are the careers which can be made through this, is basically by answering these questions which which 5-6 years back we are not able to answer. Main reason being we didn't have the data to tell. Like now, suppose let's say if I come and say, okay, how are the courses in IT you are doing? So right now we have the ability to get all the data. We have this machine learning algorithms in the past, but the reason why it is becoming more popular is because of easy and also the fact that we have the right channels to interpret now. We can grown in such an extent where it is easily accessible. We may not actually become a data scientist. All these algorithms can be embedded really well and where we presentable in a way where we can make decisions really fast. And coming to careers perspective, yes, there is a huge scope. How you interpret the data and how you value. So here's my main point. Going from 0% to 90% is not difficult. But where AI and machine learning helps is improving an accuracy or improving the time to mitigate from 90% to 99%. So we are already there at 90%. So now companies are not satisfied with 90%. For example, like in cloud services, right? When something goes down, earlier now what happens now? Someone gets a call and then they take a look at it. They may be solving it in 2 hours, 3 hours. But where AI and machine learning is helping is by taking the data and looking at the past and training some models and helping them, saying that this is going to be probably the solution. So that mitigates the time from 2 hours to maybe like half an hour to 15 minutes. So moving from 90% to 99% is where this AI and machine learning is really there, and that's where I think everyone is going to go in the future, because I don't think any customer would be 90% of the computation efficiency. Now everyone wants 99% or 99.99%, and that is what the bridge which AI and machine learning is providing. And yes, there is a huge focus on this, and even if you're not in the field, I think it's still a good course. It's a good understanding of AI is really essential in the next few years. No matter what field you're, civil engineering, doctor, lawyers, and stuff like that. So you still have to have a basic understanding of how this machine learning is impacting your career.
Sure. Wow. That's one of the things we do is to run a business. We have to buy tools, videos for our e-learning on AWS, and then we used to use S3 CloudFront to kind of stream it back into our portals. But it used to become more technologically challenging, where we had to keep playing around with the settings and so on, and we didn't have analytics tools. We stayed with AWS for about a couple of years, and then we moved to a private video hosting organization, which does exactly like Coursera or Netflix. It tells us what videos are being watched, where is the focus, where are the drops, all that analytics, which location, what IPs they're using. A lot of information gets collected, and it gives us security also. So not information that. So what I'm trying to say is, even by looking at an organization, if they have a thought towards AI machine learning as a thought of building their applications, we would definitely prefer them over someone who's not having that advantage. Please, Jay.
Yeah, thanks, Sankar, for your 2 cents of thoughts, and thanks, Venu and Prema, for giving detailed insights. So, as I said, right, everyone is talking, it's a fact. Nothing to say there is a fab, right? I want to eliminate fab, it's a fact now, because NASCOM has told what I saying, but globally, Forrester, everyone, the research companies in the world is saying that, right? It's a fact. There are industries are adopting, because I come from the more on the industries and enterprise background, and I see that there's a trend and shift is happening, and then already industry are adopting it. So if you see, there will be 2 million jobs, especially for the career. So I'll touch more on the career perspective. I know these can be like all the insights were given. Everyone is talking about, but where to start? Whether it's fresher or colleges or like people from the IT professionals, age role. I'm a Java guy. I'm a .NET guy. I have been retesting. So where do I start? So that is where everyone's is question mark. So to relearn, they have to reach to mentors, they have to reach so many XYZ. But again, the big question mark is coming up. So my 2 cents on this kind of a thing, approach expertise like IT learn, get the first kind of a learning or take any other courses. My second thing is there's a lack in the industry connect where the people from like whether it's a training or colleges or universities. So connect with the industries like whether it's like today there are a lot of startup community in the world. There are a lot of corporate community. Corporates are looking for trainers, training companies or colleges where they're providing internships. So the immediately internship. I don't want to get into a job. So the immediate is that is right. Another is data science is a new world. Everyone cannot go and then jump right because he should be a statistician, he should be PhD, all system. So better and it's to all. There's a slow like people think that I'm a statistician guy. I'm not a PhD guy. That notion is gone now. So data science has segregated now everyone, right? Whether you are a BCom guy, BSc guy, it's the norm because you can see, right? Marketing, you can have sales. AI is jumping into each and every world now. So to me, is if you started, whether it's if you are an IT professional, also come up, learn from expertises, and then go into your organization and tell them, hey, I'm a certified guy. I got trained by these experts, and then take a chunk, right? Do a POCs, or this is what the trend is going on right now. Unlike, and then that's what the buzzword is coming, the new innovation for the disruptive technologies. So when you say disruptive technologies, not only AI, there are 6 technologies in the world today as well. Like for example, right, the data, 90% of the data is coming from the IoT, the Internet of Things. The second is nothing but AI, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence. And the third bucket, which you are talking about, is nothing but your blockchain. And the fourth is nothing but your cognitive intelligence. Fifth is augmented reality, virtual reality, and the final is the cloud DevOps. The 6 previously we learned, hey, I want to learn Java, I want to learn .NET, I want to learn testing. So in the next 5 to 10 years, people will jump into saying that, hey, I want to learn this technology because he have to be in touch with the technology, in touch with the industry. So that's industry connect. So this is what I can tell you that again, anyhow, at any point of time, IT Learn is there. Reach them. I think I can suggest them, right? You can go there and then we always support them like online, offline, whatever it is. So those are my 2 cents.
So, Doctor, you've been, we would like to hear a lot from you too, please. Please tell me.
Yeah.
So, you've seen students, you have curriculum that's going on. Tell me about both perspectives of how the course is typically run and how the students also receive them.
True.
What's their learning ability?
Yeah. The eminent panelist and Karthik, thanks for giving the opportunity. So AI and machine learning is something is very close to my heart because I was working from 2000, almost 2003, so almost 15 years we are into AI and machine learning. And in one way, our what you can call stand or status is like that. We deliver the thing to the students level. We don't deliver into the industry level or the industry requirement wise. We work much more with the student, as you told, delivering the course, conduct the exams, and going ahead. But my personal experience is that once you go ahead with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and before that, you might be aware there was a subject also neural network. Which is again now coming up and taking the almost in the deep learning. It's all about neural network, the way you will be working along with that. I will try to bring some other points into this on this table and eminent people. Way of delivery. The way of delivery of AI and machine learning, that's the most important in the area I work. What I'm trying to tell, we need to hit at the very beginning level once you work with the students. Basically, the machine learning is a subject which is offered in the 4th year level, and then most of the time again in the master's level that we see in our cases, in case of academics. I feel it should start with C programming, because C, as you know, in the engineering or bachelor's level, it is provided in the first year, first semester. And again, the same concept I will try to bring also in the industry when you apply. It's totally my perspective that a person cannot create the AI machine learning things or the devices or the machine as long as he himself is not smart or intelligent. That means his thought processing should be intelligent. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And suddenly, to make someone very intelligent, intelligence quotient differs. And that's where the basic challenge is coming. I give you a very simple example. When I told someone, the students or maybe sometimes the experienced people, with all due respect, say you need to add two numbers. I'm giving very practical example. So write a program to add two numbers, A and B, take as an input, whereas C is equal to A plus B, and print C in any of the format. And I ask him to write the best program out of it. Now this guy, what happens is that at the very beginning level, you start with integer, you put little bit pressure, he don't know, no, sir, it should be float. You put some other pressure, you make it as a long. And then I tell everything is fine. What happens if I give the same input every time? Your program is keep on giving the same output for 10 times. And that's where AI and machine learning comes into the picture. The AI, yes, the AI or machine learning is driven by human life. So if I do the same mistake in front of my father for 3 times, 4th time he will slap. Now we need to understand that part, very important. And in 2010, I have been awarded by IBM as the best innovative faculty for smart city concept. So I have given 30 AI concept to convert the present cities to smart cities by 2050 using artificial intelligence. And I have been awarded by the IBM USA. So we worked to develop a course curriculum on that, and there I brought these issues where I also hit the nail. So this is one way, as I am telling, the programming thought processing should be changed the way. Second comes the compiler. Karthik, don't you feel that our compilers are dumb? I give a very simple example with the due respect up to Eclipse or NetBeans or far other where you use that for coding. One example I give. If I do the same mistake daily in my coding, what the compiler does?
It will give the same error.
Same error. That is where the problem is coming. Yes. Again, I don't open my compiler for 10 days. What happens? It doesn't do anything.
It's stagnant.
Stagnant. Again, I could keep on coding for 1 month. Does it give me any statistics that my graph is going up? Let us consider my typing speed. Forget about the programming part. My typing skill, is there any change? Is the same error I am doing? Is I become little bit more smart or not? I need to go to my manager. At the end of the year, my manager tells, the way I recruited, your smartness is not known, that much is not visible. Try to focus on the work. Now, if I have a real artificial intelligence machine driven compiler, I request the industry to work in that dimension. This is my personal feeling. With those dumb 10 years back compilers of Turbo C, you want to make the very smart, deep learning or what you can call kind of neural network. And with the regular programming, it's not happening there. So we need to hit the nail at the very root level. It is doable. And Windows 95 came in class 523 years of history basically. Yes.
You make your compilers run smart.
Write the code that says
I didn't get you, sir.
Can you repeat Sankalp once again?
Am I audible?
Ashna, are you audible?
Maybe we'll get back if he comes.
Sure.
So what are
Just breaking out. No point. Maybe you'll get that if it comes.
You're breaking up straight from us. Not sure. Sankalp, you're breaking out for us. Can you try once again, please? Sorry.
Personal computing power.
anything?
I do 95 into the picture. Guys, I think
Your audio is pretty.
I think
How about others? Are you inside? Sandeep, I'm going to give it a few seconds and wait for it to come back. Anyone else wants to add? Meanwhile, please.
I have an observation as far as careers is concerned. If you see the, you know,
So you were speaking in between.
you are finished, no? Yeah. See the change I can see in the jobs as far as jobs is concerned. We are moving software industries software engineers to data scientists. See, earlier what happened, earlier the most of the jobs we called as software engineers, where we have the data and we have some logic. With the logic we can find the output. But now what happened, because of all the changes, structured, unstructured data, where the computers have become smart enough to read text, audio, video, we have a lot of data. Now the jobs become more of learning friend. So data learning friend. So hence they have data scientists. So that's why that's the major thing. So all this is happening because the data, now the software. That's why you can see most of the jobs now you can see as data scientists rather than software engineers. So we are learning, the machines are getting learned. So you give the data and patterns, it give the algorithm. So that's what my observation.
Yeah.
As far as careers is concerned,
You see the trend, right?
As
Like
far
from
as
the industry's perspective, also you're saying from the preventive things to predictives, and now people are talking about prescriptive.
yeah,
So that's where it's also moving from, right? Previously we talked about things to predictives, and now people are talking about prescriptive.
yeah.
So that's where it's also moving from, right? Previously we talked about preventive. Most of our business intelligence is going up. Now business intelligence to analytics. Now predictive is coming the forecasting, and then from the forecasting now people are talking about, oh, it's done. Now I want a behavior analysis.
Not even prescriptive also. See what madam is saying, that is first is the descriptive is the BI, then predictive is what going to happen, prescriptive is what, then one is coming, the cognitive is what right can happen. The system now, the systems are there from so many years onwards. Now the systems are visual. Now the systems are not only they are also behaving, they are also answering. If you see the Google duplex ad, the system is calling the person, getting here as per the response given by the person. The system can able to understand, think, behave. These are happening because of the learning systems and artificial intelligence. So, as I told you that the reason behind all these innovations, the main thing is the data. If you don't have data, nothing. So
You will not be
Everything has data. Everyone has
everything
data.
is data.
There's
And
nothing without data.
there is some statistics also. If you combine both structured and unstructured data for your analysis, around 10% more accuracy in your results. The unstructured data is more of the text and all. So
Yes, go yes.
Yeah, so that is just what I was telling. I could not conclude. In '95, we started the journey. Basically, people come with across with the personal computing. So these are 23 years of journey. The time we started Word, and it shows you grammatical mistake, and it shows you the error or spell mistake. AI started journey with the real life there itself. No, someone is telling that you are doing wrong in every typing line is that. So this is nothing new. That is one part. Second part is that already mentioned, sir, from abroad, that everyday use mobile phone, that's the most important smart device we come through across. And third thing is that the Google anywhere. So you start typing, there's a natural language processing start. So everyone is aware about AI, machine learning, its application, and it's nothing new that only a part of the products or people are applying it, starting the top companies like Microsoft to Google to Facebook. It knows in other tabs what I'm searching, it shows me in the Facebook as an advertisement then and then where I've gone through. So that means it has a lot of job in the market. So you're not telling something beyond the lines and something very new about that. What you need to that it was there, it is there, it is going to aspect of life. Every aspect, starting from data science in the machine learning, the games and all. Yeah, the time we tell that it is not, I think the market is there, the jobs are there. We should be ready to go ahead for that.
See, what people are doing is, people are using, systems or artificial intelligence to serve the customer better. Because of the data, this is not B2B. Every company is looking for the customer. Customer is the important. So most of the companies, if you see the YouTube, if you see Amazon, whatever it may be, our interest is the customer, customer personalization important. That's what we are seeing the videos. So as soon as you open the YouTube, you see the videos which you already watched earlier. That means it is understanding your pattern and giving the recommendation regarding to it's the more of personalization. It can keep you a lot of engagement, like Amazon, and like I also heard like some of the chatbots. You must also about the chatbots. Now people are also working. Through the chatbots also they are giving the recommendation. The reason behind the ultimate idea behind all these products or tools or whatever you call is the personalization. Customer is the personalization. So today the world is looking for the customer, employee, patient. These three are the ultimate people we need to serve through the products. So that's that's where we are heading. The personalization to the product which will run through the artificial intelligence where we will apply ML and DL application due to the big data. That's the complete scenario.
So you'll not be surprised, right? Tomorrow with the autonomous cars, is the self-driving cars, right? Having artificial intelligence, deep learning techniques, and cognitive intelligence, talking like a bot. Hey, welcome, right? Get into your name, your personalized, and then driving all of them. So that's what the future is, right? Down the line, within the 5 to 10 years, people are like people or customers or the machines are thinking very intelligently. That's what my last two cents. Right? Future is AI. I said that, right? It's a fact, and whether you want to get in or get in, ultimately you'll get into that.
So let's say if I'm in IT industry, 10 years experience, maybe in SAP, maybe in Salesforce, maybe in Java, is it still applicable for me to kind of adapt or know to a certain extent about this field?
Definitely.
Is it going to affect my future career path?
I would say that obviously analytical models are distributed models today. So there's no way, and companies have got to adapt to it. A lot of data bombarding it, and you want to do something much more for companies with the data that you have. So one thing is, a model is just a mathematical approximation of the real world scenario, right? So it'll give you an approximate parameter. Maybe it's just like a caricature. It's like trying to draw my face. It's a mathematical model. It's an approximation. I wouldn't get end results that are very accurate, but it would give me an approximation to the data that I have there. So, and there is a disruption happening as we were talking earlier about analytical models are going to disrupt. And the key to survival is detecting that pattern.
Wow. For small,
Pattern
medium,
detection.
large devices.
Yeah. From the individual level to trying to talk in a broader scenario, I think detecting the patterns is the key to survival.
Yes.
And once you detect the pattern, then what are you going to try to do with the data that you have? For churn analysis, if you take, do you want a customer to churn away? You've detected a pattern that there have been 5 drop calls and he's not quite happy. Then what is the recommender that you're trying to do? Are you going to keep him back with your company or are you going to lose a customer? What is the cost of retention versus what is the cost of acquiring a new customer? So customer lifetime value, you want to know. So all these analysis, what you try to do from domain perspectives, right? If you take the banking scenarios, the mortgages, where they've collapsed and really shut down banks like Lehman Brothers, right? Wherein the crux of this thing was about mortgage-backed securities, what they were about. So they actually take a whole lot of money and put in funds that were actually not doing too well. And the mortgage market crashed. The base rates crashed. People's interest rates, what they were paying on the mortgage was higher above the current rate. So they wanted to come out, exit their mortgage rates, pay a penalty, and lock back into a rate which is at basic plus 0.5%. So what is the loss and this is the way that banks can actually make their money, penalty on the customer, or the cost of actually withdrawing from a mortgage and coming back. So the business cycle is such that when we make errors, we've got to hope somewhere else from the same industry. So I go back and we put it on the customer and we impose those penalties to the customer. So, and why did mortgage-backed securities crash? Because probably the model was not built well. So,
and scope for a huge potential failure.
Yes.
Which was, well, it was a film also made over time.
Yes.
As to what really happened.
So we suffer from this term called, in behavior analysis, I think we call it as, physicists call it as NB. They say that 99% of your stuff should come from that 33% of your models, but it's actually the other way around. So models have been actually failing in a very huge way. So 99% of the models that we built are not actually doing as fair, because with times, you've got to add new parameters to the model.
Sure.
Changing times, right? So because of that, redundant models existing and not updating them, I think, there is failures occurring in the industry. Now, if you see analysis bit as well, I think root mean squared error comes into picture today. It was never there, but people now want to focus on root mean square error and say, this is a very good parameter to assess your models, right? Because it's taking 90% of your descriptive statistics to actually make automation, what we were talking about, prescriptive, going into prescriptive, right? So I think I still believe that we still stick to descriptive because that brings you 80%. And then predictive is just, and predictive and automation can only come if your descriptive is quite
so one second. Sankar, are you able to speak now?
Yeah, I think I was breaking out earlier. Are you able to hear me properly?
Perfectly fine. Thank you. Please go on.
No, actually, last I was just looking to make a comment on the gentleman who was saying that making the compilers smart enough. So I was actually going through one of the projects recently in one of the conferences. So they actually had a talk in saying if the compilers are made that smart, then they have the capacity to replace the coder itself in the future. So I just thought it's an interesting thing to mention. But yeah, I completely agree with all the points with what the other panelists are making. Like there's definitely a very a strong focus towards AI and machine learning towards the thing. There are a couple of other things which I wanted to focus on, like on AI and machine learning. It is actually evolving, but that we are still there is still a lot of scope in the evolution itself. Like someone has talked about self-driving cars. So a little example right now is like NVIDIA and all these people have been working on, like Uber, especially in the US, has been focused so much on self-driving cars, but then they recently shut down their program because it was not performing that well. It actually hit a police car or something, right? So even though like AI and machine learning is out there, there's still a lot of scope for us to develop in the future. And this is the right time to actually enter the field and contribute more to the field. And I think there was a question which was asked, like, oh, if I am in Java, if I'm in SAP, do I still need to know or learn about machine learning? So I would say a couple of things. Since I've been in the field for the last like 10 years in purely in AI and machine learning, the jargon used around machine learning is actually really important for anyone to understand. Like I think one of the panelists, famous, she's been mentioning about root mean square error. Now, for someone who's actually not familiar with what that is, it sounds like a term which people might not understand. So I would say at least the introductory course to machine learning would at least help understand the jargon which is going to be used in the next 5-6 years. So no matter what field you're in, I think basic understanding, like nowadays there's a lot of focus towards machine learning for managers and corporate VPs. Especially like in big companies also, everyone is going and attending these things, not because of the fact that they'll come and like contribute to that field, but to stay in the industry, you need to understand at least the standard jargon used around machine learning and AI. So I kind of feel like it is important for everyone to at least have an introductory course. But yes, if you're planning to make a career out of it, there are huge opportunities. I think there's some people have been mentioning, right? So the way I look at AI machine learning is a few four aspects to it. One is the classification problem. The other is the predictive problem. The third one is basically the anomaly detection problem, and the fourth one is basically reinforcement learning, where you give a reward to certain things. Yeah. So there are four different categories, and depending on where you want to make your career. Like for example, nowadays, like fake videos has been a big trend in like a lot of things. Like the reason Facebook stock actually fell 20% like few days back, and because of the Cambridge Analytica thing, and then the whole conference with Zuckerberg was because like a lot of people were promoting fake videos and influencing elections in different countries. So like, how do you analyze? Like that is one area where there's a opportunity for people to determine like what is a real country, what is a again, it's not a classification problem. So there are different areas, and every area has its tremendous application. And one other thing I wanted to like point out is like also like maybe it's a little diverging from the topic, but there has been one experiment which was done by Microsoft and like other folks. Yes, they actually tried to create a bot which will go learn a language from the internet, like without anyone training. They had to shut down that program because the bot started speaking in a language which humans did not understand. So, you know, if in the future you might actually come across such advancements in machine learning where there's a fear of, you know, like machines becoming super intelligent and then leaving humans behind. So, I just wanted to touch on that. So,
that's a big. I mean, that's always there for any new thing. Even I'm sure when the first car was being made, there would have been a lot of criticism to Henry Ford. We don't need this vehicle. Sorry about that. Great, thank you. So I do have one major question. If it's a fresher, how long does it take for someone to really become, if it's a fresher, how does AI machine learning expert or mid-level guide us on that, please?
Can I? See, basically, data science and artificial intelligence is not a single person. I mean, multidisciplinary thing. See, basically, we need people who can understand data, who can handle the data. That's why, if you see the data science, there will be broadly two types of roles. One is the architect, a solution architect, obviously the senior person. And the second one, basically, you can compose them into three groups. One is the data engineer and data modeling, and all the above is the visualization and all the above. The person should have minimum business skills and domain expertise. So the data engineer is the guy who can handle the data. He's basically from SQL or big data guy, the technology guy where he can handle the data. And the modeling guys is basically a math stat background where they can run the models and build the models and tune the models.
Sure.
And third one is the visualization experts where we can put the outputs or findings in a proper visualization.
Yeah.
So this is a multidisciplinary field. So obviously the architect is the person who can connect all deliver the solution. But when it comes to someone who wants to start the career, obviously you cannot become a data scientist with 4 months or 5 months training. You will start your career with your core field. That is, you start, if I am from computer background, I will start my career with a big data engineer or data engineer, and I will learn this machine learning and mathematics or algorithms. Then I will also build some of the visualization code. Then over a period of time, I will become a data scientist. It's not a single treatment where you can suddenly make a. You cannot create the data scientist.
You have 45, 50 employees, yes.
Yeah, I have a quarter. So see, my company basically we are in the three places. All my Delhi, we have a branch in Delhi. They are all the data scientists. Those guys will handle the data. They will handle the big data. They are like experts in ETL. We are all the statisticians. So our aim is basically build the models. As someone mentioned that all the statistical model will be perfect. The statistical or data science, artificial intelligence, there will be only three types of analysis. Either you group the people, or you find the either group the people or predict the future. If you predict the number, that becomes regression problems. If you predict the category good or bad, that's called the classification problem. If you find some association and predict something, that's called recommendations. So ultimately the modeler will work on these problems. So that's why we are all hardcore data modelers, and we do have some of the experts who do the but ultimately if you if you stick at one field, it's not going to the bright future because so that's the reason we need to start career with our what is our hard code and try to learn all the things, and over a period of time you will become the data scientist. It's a multidisciplinary. That's what my
So I like from a time frame, is 3 to 6 months a good timeline? 6 months?
3 to 6 months it will give the you can understand what is happening.
Sure.
But I will tell you the one of the experience which I faced, because we are the practitioner, we'll work with the a lot of real time problems. Most of the time the algorithms will fail in real time because we need to answer the client which can be deployable. So there is a accuracy and interpretation. So if I apply some kind of algorithm without knowing, if I give something which is not able to, which client cannot implementable at his system, then what's the use of the model? So if you want to learn, if you want to learn, if you want to execute it, execution is one thing, you know, building something. I mean, so that's where you need to understand the concept, and I'm sure in most of the real-time situation, your models will fail. Then you are able to at least tune and give the solution as per the client needs. So that's why you should at least learn the concepts. It's not like executing or running without knowing.
So Dr. Ghosh, from your perspective, you have a batch of 50 people, let's say, in the class. 10% are smart, they're good. You have maybe 60-70% is really not able to catch up on skills. Is it tough for someone with average skills or abilities to be able to still get into this field? Are there enough pockets of job activities that you see in the whole
If you
discipline?
are speaking from the freshers point of view, I find that they are smart. The freshers are smart. They are updated. They are modern. There is no question about that. They are more smart than us. The problem is the delivery model. Again, I tell who is teaching them AI and machine learning. All Indian, even in learning centers, you don't have people who can deliver the course. He might be even a very good developer. He might be a practitioner. But the time you bring to the student's level, tell him some algorithm. In case of machine learning itself, he need to understand himself. He need to practice. And interestingly, most of the cases, no, AI and machine learning and neural networks is offered as a theory course, and there is no practical. It will be, then it loses everything there itself. So the delivery model is not perfect, the lab is not supported, and then they just understand maybe few jargons. Only that term happens. Like in a freshers level, they understand there are few terms. There is a neural networks. In some cases, I have one experience is that I was just sitting in some place, some college. I was not teaching, so one of the faculty was teaching. So I was telling what is like what you can call this. Different kind of models they were speaking about the machine learning model and all. So he told he was giving an example of machine learning. That you create the models, there will be some machines. These are machine learning models. As an engineer, mechanical people create some machines, some models. That's how. So he also learned from somewhere, might be some institution.
It's very important.
Very important.
That the knowledge is required
Correctly, the people will pass it.
So, for example, if I write Java, if my Java training is bad, I write wrong program, I will immediately stop.
That's what is happening today.
But is it the same realization? Is it tougher to?
That's where the challenge is coming. Otherwise, it's nothing. So no, we cannot do it. It's not like that. We need to make it and bring it to their level that they can understand what are you talking about. AI, the first algorithm in the AI any book is the hill climbing approach. The hill climbing, the basic common one. What they're trying to tell with the hill climbing algorithm, to tell about the first algorithm, heuristic. Many people don't understand what the heuristic all about is, that what is, how it is coming into the real life. So he tell that you don't know heuristic. I said, take a dictionary and no, you should know it. He just pass it there itself. That's happening today. And then finally, in the programming level. So which programming language we should choose? What kind of, as are told, industry requirements are there? The best practices, the use cases are not available for freshers to give them. The use cases should be there. And from the industry side, I will tell when the freshers or maybe 2-3 years experience people, you want them, he's a very good Java developer, he should move for AI or machine learning kind of things. It should be something like little bit topping and then you increase it. Tell him that these are the existing system you work, you try to do little bit smart.
It's very rich in terms of concepts.
Yes.
And
Yes.
excellent.
And to me also it's more of the practice. Like our trainings are more of the theoretical. Okay, 3 days of training and then everything is theory, and then a lot of practice. Like, very less practice, especially in the training course.
Like if you can start off with descriptive statistics. So in descriptive statistics, it's like trying to understand your variables and trying to task the test you will apply for that variable. Like if I say for logistics, I would want to know dichotomous dependence rate. I'm not looking for a continuous dependence. So that kind of understanding should kind of trigger within a student. That's the first bit. The second of all, once we do the Euclidean bit, we try to go into correlation to bivariate bit. Try to take it too long and try to understand that relationship. So like going to correlation, right? I want to know what is the relationship between the two. Are they positively correlated or are they negative? Pearson's correlation, what does it say? As a statistician, when I say 0.95% is how two variables are correlating, what does it mean? I need to interpret as a statistician what that numerical value to me means, right? And what is the co-function? How do you actually get a correlation function? How do you, COR is the correlation function in R, right? Then when I do univariant, bivariant, I want to go because correlation is just telling me the relationship between data, right? Now I want to know, it's not giving me the causal analysis, right? So I want to do predict. So how much of my independent variables actually help me predict my dependent variable? What is my R squared? What is my adjusted R squared? And how do you actually, when you build your y is equal to a plus b coefficient, what are you trying to actually understand from that? How do you code that and do it in R, right? How do you normalize your data? If you're scaling your data, what is the command? In what scale are you making? How do you transform your data? How do you see the skewness and kurtosis of your data, right? So all of this from a very conceptual way, along with coding, actually helps. I want to understand multicollinearity. What is the function, BIF? Now, I would say 3 is fine, even 5 is fine. I've done even cases with 10 fine, right? So at what level are you comfortable wherein I can justify for the data that I have that 3 is fine and some loading below the 3 will be eliminated? So it's something that I need to justify for the data. How do I interpret that?
Please. Just one more question to add to that. Is a smart 5th grader too young to learn?
Yeah, I
would say yeah.
See, machine learning is basically machine learning.
So it took me 10 years to learn. Yes, uncle, please go ahead.
So the way I look at it, I think the main question you're trying to target is like, who is the right set of audience to actually understand or be proficient in this, right? So there are two aspects to this. So one, like yes, if you have a really strong math background in statistics where you understand, like I think Ms. Prema was talking about correlation, BIF coefficients and stuff. So if you take a step back, all these concepts are actually baked into the mathematics which we have learned growing up and stuff like that. So if you have a good understanding of the math background, these things will fall into place automatically. But having said that,
yes, I agree.
Having said that, you may not be really proficient in these things because right now, like R or Python and these, they have so many libraries where all this stuff is abstracted out from the programmer himself. So if you look at like a simple classification problem, like if you take like a support vector machine or something, you need not actually go and understand how the kernel dot product is made, what is the concept behind the inner product being a dot product and stuff like that. So all that is abstracted out. So for a person if they're not that very smart, the thing which we can understand is basically the fact that hey, this is an algorithm. These are the parameters which I tune. If I tune these parameters, this is what is happening, and that understanding can be imparted to anyone. Because a best way to learn that is by taking like case studies and examples. So if I give you a problem between like a cat and
dog images, and I tell you this is an algorithm which you actually fine tune the parameters and find out what is the best accuracy. You need not go into really understanding what the algorithm is changing behind the scenes. But what you need to understand is if I change a hyperparameter A in this particular algorithm, what is it doing? Like if I change a particular, like if I change the dot product in general, is it giving me better result? Is it giving me, a worse result? So basically, that understanding I think can be imparted to anyone. But yes, if you want to actually go deep into it and then become like the top 1% in that field, I would say like a strong math background and like IQ coefficient of slightly higher would be necessary.
Yeah, correct. See, basically, machine learning is basically data plus modeling. See, most of the people will give more emphasis for the modeling and giving the most important point of the data. So, out of 100% activity, I think 70% or 60 or 70% will be at the data cleaning and feature selection. So that's where we should have clear understanding of the data. Yes, I do agree. We need to understand the mathematics, especially calculus, linear algebra, and calculus, linear algebra, Bayesian probability, Bayes theorem, probability, and as far as the statistics is concerned, we need to understand the probability distributions, and as concept understand. See, all other than this, we need to also understand a little bit about research. Some kind of research background, and they also need to understand how to connect the databases, the ETLs. So yeah, it's basically, if you really want it, there will be some appreciation course and there will be some courses. But if you want to, at least if you want to start with all these components, I think it will take around 6 months. I mean, before that it's not possible, I think. So where you need to cover mathematics, statistics, computers, and visualization, and all those.
Yeah, and adding to it, we cannot make it as generic because right, it depends on experience. A 0 to 2 years experience will be fitting into a data engineer, or 2 to 4 years a senior data scientist or architect who and understanding the parameters. So it all depends, boils down to each individual parameters, like the buckets of experience levels. And absolutely, 6 months is ideal time, where 3 months can be theoretical and a kind of projects or like
40% theory, 60% practical. So you can't learn it until you practice it. That's 100% true for data science. Yeah, and coming to the experience, people who wants to start their career as data science, I mean, as far as my experience, I have two suggestions. Yes, you need to start understanding the algorithms and try to see whether you can adapt data science in your present job rather than shifting into the new job, because you are the domain expertise, you are already well equipped with the business. So ultimately, what we are trying to solve through the data science, we are solving the data business problem. So for the experienced people, in whatever way, if you find some opportunity for the data science, grab it and try to understand the algorithms and understand what kind of data it is and try to build the models. Now the most today, I think we are at the industry, we are seeing the most of the companies today, what they are fighting for is they have a lot of data, they don't know how to. And one more trend, most of the people are recruiting the data scientists, but they are not able to solve their problems because people are hiring with a hurry without understanding what is required for it. So there will be, I mean, pros and cons. Yes, so that means if people are, if they want, instead of starting career at A, I think if you try to find something at your own and your language, your expertise, that is going to be useful for your career. I'm sure every business has data. I think everywhere we can apply that. Everywhere we can try to improve the whatever service or quality.
A small intro course on machine learning and so on that kind of gives a landscape of what are the different components is critical, I believe, for everyone in IT.
Correct. As far as the
then it may inspire certain people that, hey, you know what, I'm good at math, I mean statistics, I can do a lot of predictions. So let me look at a career path in more detail.
Especially senior managers are higher than position. See, I will also, the manager in the data analysis is not the person who can handle 100 people or 200 people. So the manager definition in the data science is the number of projects you are handling. Unfortunately, there's the definition. So the people who are at, higher level, they should start get some kind of appreciation course, understand the concept, algorithms, their outlines, how they will serve. Then they can go back and think about their data, and definitely, I'm sure they will find some application in their data, because everything is based on the data, and more than the data, the experience, the business. I mean, that's what we are doing. So these two are the critical points. So that's what my suggestion, rather than starting from a,
Yes.
because there will be other parameters also, everybody knows
Sure.
that.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're also past our time, I believe. I would like to quickly kind of take any few last comments. I think I am very clear now personally, looking at the confidence and the amount of hard work each of you have put in. Sankalp, you as well from there, in the specific field is very, very commendable.
Yeah.
And that also says it's not it's not like a regular thing. You have to take it like a serious profession. Then it makes sense. The minute we say math, I know how 90% of people drop out.
Course is the starting point. So these solutions are not fixed. They are like dynamic in nature. Every problem requires separate solution.
And I've heard a lot of things, a lot of more practicals, hands-on need to be working on it. It's a constant thing. So I'm sure we will get better at it over time.
Is there an entry to data science kind of course that we can introduce for students who are definitely not into mathematics, research, or statistics, but they can be a good back-end operators, back-end support for data scientists?
So I will tell you one. I mean, this is also absolutely my opinion. Today, the biggest problem in the market is we have huge content, but there is no connection. I mean, everywhere we have, courses. We can see courses for 100 rupees. We can see courses for 2 lakhs. We can see courses for 500. The ultimate problem is we need to find the right course, and once again, it depends upon the
right course.
That's what I'm thinking. It also depends upon the persona. I mean, what kind of person you are. I mean, if I am a BTech student, so I know a little bit maths and background. His introduction course could be the different. I am the person, I am already having 5 years experience in the business. His course could be the different. It should be customized. It cannot be one.
I would disagree with that.
Entry to IT, like we have software development, coding not everybody can do. We agree that.
Yeah.
But testing, anybody and everybody can help it. Likewise, what is the entry to data science? Like anybody and everybody can help it as a backend operator, so that we capture a bigger crowd.
The mathematical.
Let me add to it so that we're clear about what we're trying to get towards. We talk about the different roles and titles. I don't have to be an expert data scientist. There's still a lot of, may not be core, but secondary roles related in that field that even someone who's not that smart that we're talking about can join. The question again goes back to, is there a course, a short course like that? I'm sure there are, and that's what we've been talking about. So, which inspires them, gives them a landscape of things.
I make a point here. If any data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning course should be offered, along with other regular statistics, maths and all, I personally feel natural language process should be being into the picture. That's where people can connect themselves.
In fact,
let them write the rules by hand. Don't require a big statistical data analysis, as they call it. Don't put them in, let them go by the rules, the rule-based systems. Let them work for 1 month for rule-based system and develop that how the rules are framed, and you expect them to develop big machine learning system is not going to happen. And natural language process will happen even if you very open-minded. If he is good in mother language, please encourage him. There is something. He is Telugu, ready to analyze and come out the grammars and what is happening. So, nenu akkada vellali. Is it correct or vellochu? Is it correct? He should be able to write some hands-on rules that what it is. My area is natural language processing. Start connecting. He start connecting the mistakes, the grammars and all, and then bring word into the picture, and then you tell this is how it is used, and then you tell take out this. How the data at the backside, the statistics going to help you. You start putting into analysis to develop those small statistical models. So that's you cannot do code. No issues. Let it write the rules. The handmade coding that what you should tell, that is very much required. That's my experience at the beginning.
Were you saying something?
To answer Sheeta's question, I would say the entry-level position for a vaster crowd would be something called a data analyst. which will help them to seek the help of a machine learner who's been there to actually just work with the data, to cleanse the data from very basic conceptual languages like, know your variables and what is the kind of descriptive statistics that I would use to actually keep your work very minimal before actually going ahead and deciding which machine learning algorithm would you apply, because you would need a little bit of experience to actually get your hands towards working on the machine learning aspect. So yes, I would say a data analyst role, because business analysis is actually fading away, and I think it's going to be data analysis now, data analysts, not business analysts. So there is scope. Yes, sir.
So to answer your question, I will break down the complete data science into the 5 fields. First, you start learn the data analysis. In the data analysis, where you understand math, stats, distributions, correlation, univariate. Then machine learning, understanding machine learning. Then you start learning after machine learning the deep learning. Then you need to learn the text mining. Then the fifth one is the visualization. These five are we can split the complete data science into these 5 modules. And this is the career path. You start with the data analysis using R or Python. You understand distribution, correlation, regression, that thing. Then you get into the modeling. So data analysis is more of statistical modeling, where you have less data. Then you get into the machine learning, understand the concept of the machine learning, parameter tuning, validations, deployment, overfitting, underfitting. This is the machine learning course. Once you are confident in the machine learning, let's focus on the deep learning, where you understand natural language processing, computer vision, text sequencing analysis. This is where of machine learning. The deep learning is a part of the machine learning. It has some advantage. It works with unstructured data very well. Along with that, you need to understand the text mining also, like Sir saying that natural language processing. Understand the language is very important. And moreover, all this above, if you are able to understand the visualization skills, there are a lot of open source visualization skills are there. Once you learn all these 5 paths, then I can claim that he is like kind of data scientist, where he can path we should focus. These are the sub-modules, and we should learn in hierarchy. After this line.
You and Prema, because the moment I said data analyst, people think I'm a business analyst.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer. What should I do? So I would recommend as a data engineer rather than
Yes.
like one is a business analyst. Absolutely fine. Adding to it because there should be a lot, because there is a good data and a bad data. Models work on good data because most of the enterprises industries there is a huge amount piles of data, but which is a more of a bad data. So I have to look at the good data to add to that recommendations. So a data engineer is the right path to go to look into that aspect as a fresher or whatever aspect to that.
Any questions from anyone in the audience? Or Shankar, if you want to add anything as well, please.
I think pretty much covered the stuff. I mean, I would say like in order to so one thing I realized is being the data scientist, or if you want to get really good in that field, there's a lot of passion you need to have towards data and dedication. So those are two things. I mean, rest of the math, statistics, and everything will fall into place as long as you love the problem that you're solving, right? So I would suggest like an introductory course on covering like all the 5 aspects which the other panelists mentioned, and just an introduction with some examples. This is, I mean, if you're solving a machine learning problem of classification, what is classification? What are the things which we need to do? Like just a basic introductory course is necessary for everyone to take, and then decide whether you have a passion towards this field, and then go ahead. It's not something which is like a 2 to 3 week course where you can over in 2 to 3 weeks you can model your data scientist. It will take gradually like 6 months of understanding and listening, but once you actually get through that, it will become more and more easier and clearer as to what problems you are solving and stuff. So, and again, the medium of like the what you say, the way you someone teaches also really influence.
I prefer
like
mostly
the way you have to come down to their level, understand where the problems are. Yeah. So yeah, taking good introductory course of machine learning, I would say, is the first step, and then you have to decide for yourself is whether you actually which part in the 5 segments which the other panelists have mentioned, like where does your interest lie and then which part you can do. And there is a reason why data scientists are being paid a lot
these days is because not everyone can become like a brilliant data scientist over like it takes time, dedication, and more examples. But yeah, I think going to this space is
that's really interesting, and we are looking forward to also bringing up programs together in AI machine learning. I'm sure we'll start with something very fun. We'll capture interest and give a clear guidance of the career path. That will help us to then expand and go deep into.
that is really, I think.
Mostly it should be practitioner approach. I mean, end of the day, you need to solve the problem.
Yeah.
That's the essential thing in the teaching.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Really pleasure having. This is plenty of knowledge. I think one of the few sessions where we walk out with wow, not you, but at least a lot of us. We have so much to learn.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Sankalp and others.